My name is Femke Henzen and I study an MA in Fine Art. My work is called The Woman of Blue, The Undoing of the Bumpkin. It's a film dedicated to the contradiction of belonging, and my practice has always worked with national identity and gender identity and how those intertwine with each other. When you come into the space, I've created kind of this theatrical dark room. There's a lot of props that you can see from the film that have been placed in both of the corners, and then the film is playing in front for people to just see. I started kind of with like a script, and the idea kind of came to me on a bus when I was going on my way back to Swansea, and I presented the idea in a critique, and since then it's just kind of developed from a script into a final film. I learned how to do a lot of sewing and a lot of ceramic techniques that I hadn't worked with before, so I got a lot of support from my tutors and my fellow studio mates in the creating of this film and the making of it, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without them. Because I graduated during COVID, having access to an audience and actually interacting with my work has been really amazing. I've always kind of seen my work as a set of questions that me and my audience answer together, so having access to the actual audience has been quite magical in seeing how it develops the work. I've been able to show my family, who are originally from the Netherlands, and kind of showing them what I do and why I do it has been very special. The reactions have been really magical as well, because some of the props were made by my mom and my grandma. So having this project that was made by all these wonderful women around me, not just like me, but my family, my studio mates and my technicians have been, really special. Studying an MA at Bath Spa has been really helpful with the diversity of different subject leaders and different kind of technicians that we have access to. There's a wealth of kind of knowledge and a lot of technique that is in this building that you wouldn't have access to if you didn't study it here. I've spent a lot of my time in photography and in the photography studios. I also spent a lot of my time in my own studio and then the sewing studio. There's a lot of knowledge from the texts that are in there on how to do the things that I wanted. My ideas were just ideas, and without them I couldn't have done it. The technicians are people that are like real-world artists. They have worked with the community around them and also students for a very long time. No idea is too big or too small to kind of work with them. I think that we as a group of students have always said that without them the ideas wouldn't be where they are. Having access to your questions that you've always had being actually answered on the spot really kind of progresses the work in a really fast and nice way. My favorite thing has been the developing of myself within my practice. I went from someone who used myself in portraiture quite a lot to more of like a directing role. So seeing how my practice really works within a community and a space in the real world. So using it as a real world practice.